Well, hello, everyone.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on, brother?
You're looking at it.
Yeah.
I was 30 a.m. on a Wednesday, but just like you guys, just out here just trying to build a business. So yeah, when people
Oh,
usually
man,
ask me
you're
how,
doing a great job.
well, listen, I appreciate it, but the jury's still out. It's funny when people ask me like, Brandon, how are you doing? I always say as good as my last conversation. That's how it works. All right. It's a great icebreaker, by the way, if you guys have never tried that. And it actually is true. So, um, give me 1 second here. Oh, there's Christine. All right. Just waiting for a couple people to get on before we kick things off. Do, 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 do. Let's see who we have in here. What was that old show that they used to have a whole bunch of like blocks of people? It was like on network TV. Was it Hollywood Squares? Was that what it was? I might be really dating myself here. I don't know. Tough crowd this morning, I see. All
Yes,
right,
I
I
think
get
it
it.
was the Hollywood Squares
Thank
and
you.
and
Oh
also the Brady
yeah.
Bunch. The Brady
The
Bunch
Brady
had it
Bunch
in
did
there.
have that.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I was talking to an old coworker of mine, and I was comparing the old office environment to like Gilligan's Island. And for some reason, of all the shows from that period, I just broke out into the whole entry song of Gilligan's Island. It was like wrote to me. I have no idea why, but I could just sing it perfectly. I don't know if it was like tattooed in me from a young kid, but oh man, some of those
Funny
shows
how
are
that
just
works.
I know, right? It's just I look back at some of those shows and I'm just like, man, that's what was getting it done back then, huh? Gilligan's Island. I was like, that was just amazing. They created content from just sitting on an island like that. That was an achievement in itself.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so let's see how
It
many
was the
people we
first like
have.
Love Island. It was the first. It's not wasn't reality, but it was the first Love Island, I guess, because it was
Well, there you go, Jessica. I like the way you just drew that connection there, just connecting generations. I love that. From Gilligan's Island to Love Island. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's see how many people we have. We have 30 right now. I will give it one more minute, as there seems to be a rush of folks hopping in. All right. All right. Let's just start here. So guys, today is it's really exciting for me, as I'm sure you guys have seen over the past 5 weeks and have heard. I have been kind of leading these sessions. I'm sure you guys are extremely tired of my nasally voice, speaking for sometimes 45 minutes, but typically, well, actually, should be 30, but sometimes 45 minutes. And if you recall, we've been going on this journey. And I know that there has been, some people want to go fast down this journey. Some people like the pace of this journey, but it's a journey nonetheless. And there's a reason why we are doing it. And it is the foundational work that I want to introduce to you guys, some of which some of you guys already are doing it, which is great to hear in the calls. That will set the stage for what I like to say is transformational growth for your business. That 10 to 20% that you feel like, oh man, I'm doing everything, I can't get it. Right? Keep trying the same thing. I'm working harder and I can't get it. Makes no sense. It's shoring things up, focusing on the basics, getting a plan that's repeatable, scalable, so you can build a consistent and predictable business. And today I am excited and proud to introduce a very close friend of mine, Tony Dix, who is the CEO and founder of Revenue Factory. And Revenue Factory is a company inspired to help business owners transform their business. And while I know that's big and broad, uh, Tony is one of the smartest people I know and has really cut his teeth and focused in, I'd say, the past 10 years on understanding this kind of digital landscape, this digital ecosystem, which admittedly, at least for me, and I know for some of you, is intimidating, right? It's big, broad. What does it really mean? It's changing. And he's helped me, as in my kind of maturation and in my company, kind of helped me understand it, make sense of it, but distill and boil down all these big topics and what do I do first and the confusion that comes along with being a small business owner to bite-sized, predictable plays that you can run, rooted in starting a conversation. And we all know that we cannot get to conversion without first starting a conversation. So I don't want to steal Tony's thunder. We're going to do a session today on the importance of lead capture. We've talked about building the foundation, understanding your market, your goals, your properties, the people that who you are for. We talked about effective messaging tools, talked about understanding channels. And now we're going to talk about something which might seem simple to everybody, but a lot of people mess this part up, which is once you send something out, how do you make sure that you're able to start a conversation more often, right? A lot of that happens from the work we did before, but a lot of that happens with understanding how do you do so and using tools to actually stimulate and generate a dialogue. And again, not just to sell today. And I want you guys to get out of the mindset for those of you who are, well, I did all this work, I want it to happen today. This is about creating a dialogue and a conversation that allows you to sell today, tomorrow, and in the future. So, Tony, I'd love to introduce you to the group. It's, again, a pleasure for me to have you here. And yeah, if you want to give a little bit about yourself, I might have already done it. If not, we can get right into it. But thank you for joining.
Hey, thanks, Brandon, for that intro. Hey, all. Great meeting you all virtually. Just by way of introduction, so we can connect on something that we may have in common. I did actually used to live in the LA area, and I cut my teeth back in the day on doing mortgages 100% commission, and some of the pain and the wins, the joy of that experience is kind of what definitely informed a lot of my career and brings me to harp on some of the things I like to harp on today. I'll share a quick story with you guys just as an example. Don't know if any of you all can relate to this, but I remember that what I used to do is I had to build my own territory. My office was based off of Melrose, and I was jumping all the way out to the Valley and the Inland Empire and things of that nature to kind of build relationships with real estate agents that could possibly hand me loans, loan opportunities, or buyers who needed loans. This was 2003. Everybody was making money left and right, right? It was a hot market then. Interest rates were low. Everybody was making money except me. One of the things, when I reflected on that experience, that was happening was I spent too much time with the wrong prospects. Example, common fail point, big whales, agents or brokerages that seem like they had a lot of deals. I go talk to them about what I did. They say, hey, stay around. Let's talk more. Let's do whatever. Conversations are going well. Everything feels really good. But what was the problem? No deals. So one of the things that I'm pretty passionate about, and when I got started with digital stuff, it was because I actually bought a franchise. I wanted to use digital as leverage because I came from big corporate and I had 7-figure budgets. And now suddenly I had, let's call it 4-figure budgets, possibly to do some marketing. So I thought that digital could be a source of leverage. But when I got into it, I was drowning in a bunch of technical jargon, stuff that I didn't know. I was paying people to do stuff for me and not getting what I expected back. So the thing I'm passionate about is I went through this journey. I started figuring out how to do stuff myself so I could actually understand how to inspect what I expected from the people that were doing things for me. And as a result of that, I became better at driving that, directing those people and directing those initiatives. And I realized that the same thing was happening to a lot of my entrepreneurial friends. And so I thought, so my motivation is to help people actually close the knowing doing gap and learn the stuff that's not talked about. Every time I look at something, I see a lot of ads on Instagram, a lot of gurus. Sometimes I call them false prophets because I spent a lot of money with them and lost a lot of money with them. But it was all about the sizzle and not the steak. So with that, what I wanted to share with you guys and what I hope is valuable for you guys is a little conversation about the stuff under the hood, the steak, maybe an opportunity to ask questions that you don't always ask and are curious about because you're not sure if you're in a safe environment where you could ask the question. This is that environment. If you were born before the internet like me, I know I look young, but I'm like, I'm aged. I'm fine wine. So, so if you were born before the
So you
internet
don't look
like
that
me,
young. Let me be the first to tell you.
oh man, all right. Well, thanks for just taking the wind out of my sail. But you're in a safe environment. Let's get those questions answered and try to leave here with you all feeling a little bit more empowered, not just excited, but actually equipped to take some type of action. That's my objective. All right. So, by way of introduction, I did attempt to, I think we're all out here having fun and experimenting a little bit with AI. Sometimes it helps us, sometimes it lets us down. Warning, this time for me, it kind of let me down as far as how it designed the slides and everything like that. The content is good, but I would have liked better design, and I did not have time to update it for you, but I will. So my website is revenuefactory.com. At the end of this, if you guys want any of this stuff or want any information or want a one-on-one consult about something you're doing, don't worry. No high pressure sales tactics. You can go there, request it, and I will get you what you want and need from today until I automate it. All right. Does that work for everybody? We good? With that, I will go ahead and start presenting. I'm just gonna fight through this presentation, this design. All right, so I did two things for you guys. One, this is, wait a second, what screen are you looking at? Are you seeing my presentation? Yes? Yes? Okay, good. I created the presentation. I also created a visual for you guys at demo.revenuefactory.com. So you could type in demo.revenuefactory.com and I'll share on my screen as well. But the idea here is to make sure that we're not just talking about stuff pie in the sky, but we have something that gives us a visual representation so we can make something that sometimes feels intangible tangible. And so feel free to reference that and I'll be referencing it as we go. All right, to reinforce certain topics. So basically, we're talking about marketing mechanics. And so there are 5 phases that are involved really and taking advantage of some of this stuff that you hear about related to funnels and marketing automation and even later on AI. These are those 5 steps. This is an actual estimate of how much time it may actually take to get through these steps if you are going from 0 or 1 to 10. All right. But I shared this also so that you have now a more realistic expectation. Everybody talks about being able to just go in and turn something on quickly from 0. And normally you get surprised by the fact that once you make that purchase and get in there, it takes more time. There are exceptions to that rule if they've already set this stuff up for you. So everything's literally already templates only so that when you go into your system, that's all you see. But in general, starting from scratch, this is how much time it takes to get through each phase. Foundation is about setting up your CRM. Lead capture is about capturing the leads that actually respond to your marketing. Nurturing systems is about follow-up. Referral engine is about setting up or automating your referral process, going from handing people several business cards and asking them to hand them out to actually being able to create digital links that people could share, whether it's a customer that just wanted to broadcast that they had a great experience with you and send you some business, or if they want to send it to people one-on-one. And the last one is the most important of all. It's the only way that you know that you're not burning your money, if you will, on your marketing. And that is revenue optimization. That's about looking at your scorecard, being able to see what's working and what's not based on numbers, and then making decisions about what you want to do next. What we're going to focus on today is phase 2, which is lead capture. And we'll start off with a story. So let's say, for example, Sarah, solo real estate agent, closed 18 deals last year, imported 2,400 leads into her CRM. Like most solo agents, she's drowning in lead follow-up chaos. She manually nurtures prospects for 6 to 18 months, struggles to track which marketing generates actual closings, and watches higher quality leads slip away to competitors who respond faster. This is why Sarah needs automation or is going to leverage automation in order to improve the results. Her current reality is that she responds to leads during evenings and weekends. She can't tell which $5,000 Facebook ad spend brought actual clients, which ad. She lost 43% of leads because nurturing was inconsistent over 6 months. And she spends 5 hours per week on marketing instead of showing properties and closing deals. Can anybody relate to the idea that you would like to spend more time working with clients and closing deals than you would on administrative tasks in your marketing? Yes, yes, yes. All right. So let's go ahead and see how we can go about doing that. All right. So basically, this is still setting up the hidden costs, right? So the hidden cost here is lost leads. Industry shows that real estate agents lose 78% of leads within the first 12 months due to inconsistent follow-up. All right, that is, they can't get in contact with you when they want to. And you may actually be manually or trying to remember who you need to reach out to or follow up with, and you just lose track because life happens and business happens. Lost time theft. Solo agents spend 60% of their time on administrative tasks instead of revenue generating activities. Commission per client, manual nurturing. So trying to handle things manually generates 45% lower lifetime value compared to automated relationship building. Lifetime value is you sold a client one time, and we know in real estate, if you sold someone's house, maybe then you can actually help them buy a new home. But after that transaction happens, there may be, a 5 to 7 year lag in doing new business with them. So that's something that you want to preserve, because once somebody buys from you one time, it's easier to get them to do business with you again. So that's what we get to manage through lead nurturing. And then referral loss. 82% of satisfied clients would refer, but only 23% are ever asked to send a referral. That means that maybe you mentioned it, maybe you didn't. And in this case, we could use automation to make sure that everyone that works with you gets that request for a referral. So that's how we're able to go ahead and protect ourselves from some of those negatives. Let's hop on to getting into the meat. So, wow. So I am definitely real time experiencing the hit that happened, and I am trying to figure out where I am right now in my presentation, and I apologize. Here we go. So it broke this up a little funny here. So this is where the piece is about lead capture system. So the job to be done, what we want to do, you guys launch a campaign. Let's say you use Navigate to go ahead and launch a campaign. People are going to try to reach out and get in contact with you and follow up to what you offered. And you want to make it easy so that when you want to make it easy to respond to them quickly, ideally within 5 minutes, 24/7. So people who are interested in your offer, the reason you want to do this is because people who are interested in what you're offering, and reach out to you, but when you're not available, those people may not respond and they tend to go cold. So sometimes your marketing campaign can be working, but you don't know it's working because people try to reach out and they didn't get you. So using a combination of lead magnets, landing pages, web forms, calendar booking links, and chat bots, these are 5 items that you can use to actually make sure that you miss out on fewer leads. And since this presentation is not working awesome for me, I'm going to switch to my demo. And then that way we don't have to worry about that. So let me talk you through it. One, you'll notice this is, oh wait, I got a hand up from Nomita. Is that?
So yeah, Tony, we could barely read the slides. They're so tiny, the font. And even with the glasses, magnified glasses, it's difficult.
Thank you for that, Nomita. I did not know it was showing up so small on your side. This is what happens when tech goes wrong, and sometimes it does. I am now switching over to the web page so that I could use that. Are you able to see that a little bit better?
Yes, a little bit,
Awesome.
sure. But
All right.
yeah.
So I'm going to
Thank
abort
you.
mission on the presentation, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to use a real world example to contextualize everything. All right. So one, I know you guys are I believe that one of the focuses here that you all have been talking about is about getting listing appointments, right? So what I did here was I used an example of a free home valuation report. So number one, all of your marketing needs to be based on an offer that someone might want. You don't, one of the things that I had to learn through experience was that, when you're dealing with people one-to-one, you can actually change gears more quickly, right? We can be more spontaneous. The deal is that business is much more difficult in the digital world, right? We're dealing with all of the stuff that we used to deal with, but now we've got social media, email, and all these other things that we have to contend with on a regular basis. That's noise for the people that we want to do business with. You're not the only one experiencing it. They used to say that it took 7 times for a person to receive a message in order for that message to stick in their head, in order for them to actually remember you, the name of your company, and what you offer, what you sell, right? So nowadays, with all of this tech explosion, if you will, and I like to use the term tech debt pretty broadly because it's typically sucking up space in our brain and absorbing time from us, sometimes secretly. But it takes 60. They say it takes 60 touches, 60 times to see your message, 60 times to hear from you for them to remember you. So, number one, that's why, hey, I sell real estate. I can help you sell a home. I'm an expert in the market. Getting a message that's general like that out has trouble cutting through the noise. So when you make them a specific offer, I am going to give you this. Do you want it? Then you will get more engagement. And it doesn't matter how you're sending that message out. If you're sending out mailers, you still want to send a mailer to a specific offer and reason for them to engage with your marketing that is going to be interesting enough for them to take action so that they can go and convert on it. All right. The second step to that, once you sent out that offer, is to have a landing page for them to go to. Why? Back in the day, billboards. Let me ask someone, Steve Marsh, see you out there. If you put up a billboard advertising your services, how would you be able to tell that I saw it?
Are you putting a phone number or something? That's a tough one. I mean, it's You're just going for eyes, I guess, on a billboard.
Exactly. Exactly. Thanks for that, Steve. That's exactly how it was. You don't know. You're just going for eyes. You don't know who's interacting with it or not. So let me ask you one more follow-up, Steve. If you had $1,000 to put an ad up on a billboard, or you had $1,000 to put in where you could only get eyes and you don't know if somebody saw it, or you had $1,000 to put towards something that you knew how many people saw it and interacted with it, which one would you pick?
Interaction.
The interaction. Great. Thanks for that, Steve. So this is why I want to impress upon you guys. Send your traffic to a landing page all the time, whenever possible. And when we say landing page doesn't only mean a website page, right? Now it turns out you got landing pages on social media. If you have seen a link tree, would you please say link tree in the comments? Have you heard of link tree? If you've heard of link tree in the comments. Yes. Yes, I got Susan. I got Jessica. Yes. All right. We got a bunch of people who've seen Linktree. Linktree is a landing page. It just lives in social. Nothing, no mystery about it, right? Yes, but don't know what it is. Okay, great. So Linktree basically is just like this is like this page here. You can put different pages and links in a link tree. If you're on Instagram, you only have the option of putting one website URL there. When you go ahead and make that URL tied to a link tree, then it opens it up, shows a picture of you or whatever you want to see, opens up, and you've got various links that you could send people to. That's important because it's going to give you exactly what Steve mentioned earlier. Now you're not just hoping that people saw it, but not really sure. Now you know by people clicking on it whether they got to where you wanted them to go. So that's a way that you're able to now use these tools to make sure that to know where your marketing spend is going. All right. So you get them to a page like this, right? What happens next? If you look at my page here, we're promoting a free home valuation report. We go ahead and provide a little bit of information about what's in that report and some frequently asked questions, all this good stuff. This is what we normally talk about. Can someone, let's see, I'm going to pick someone randomly again. Amy Edwards, are you in Raleigh? Raleigh, North Carolina?
Yes, I work in both Raleigh area and Austin, Texas area.
Awesome. I used to live out there as well. Fun fact about me, by the way, that I mentioned earlier, likely anywhere you've lived, or work, I've probably lived there for a little bit of time. I lived in 25 cities for a year or more, and I do not count the ones that I lived in less for a year. See, I do look younger than I look younger than I am. All right. So, Amy, can you tell me, as you look at this page, what is something on here that would help you capture a lead, a contact that was interested in doing and your offer if you weren't available? What do you see here that might work for you?
The chat at the bottom.
Yes. All right. So a little chat bot at the bottom. And so that's one thing that you can add to your landing page. And I haven't asked, because of the number of people on the call, how many people have landing pages. So I'm just going to leave it general. If you got a landing page, adding a chat widget will improve your conversion rates. All right. In fact, the deal is, as you can see, not only can you use automation for these chats now, but guess what else you could use? Selena Fritz, Nashville. What else now is involved in the little chat bot here that can make it feel like you're available 24/7 even when you're not?
The live chat.
The live chat, yes, but humans normally have bedtimes, right? They normally want to take off at some point. So that part doesn't give us the 24/7 fuel. What's the one that could take it beyond 9 to 5?
The email.
Okay, email and chat. Now, let's get into it here. AI was the piece I was going to mention that actually throws fuel on this fire. The chat and the email, funny enough, we're on the AI right now, and a lot of people really weren't getting automation right, guys. So I say this because you do not have to at all feel like you're missing something or literally are just digitally illiterate. Because actually, even a lot of the freelancers and a lot of the agencies that provide these services didn't actually get it all the way right. So automation meant that you had to pre-write or record your messages. With AI is more flexible, so it can also respond to your messages. So one additional tool is a chat widget. And note that if you are really feeling froggy, if you're really ambitious, then you can go ahead and add AI to that chat bot, and it just creates a more responsive experience for people that might want to redeem your offers. All right. Thanks, Selena. Let's see who else we could call on. Let's go to, I want to find another element that you guys see on the page that would help to capture some of the leads from your campaigns. Let's go to Michael Roberson. Hey, Michael, good to meet you virtually.
Hey there.
Uh,
We'll chat with a live agent, or are you
Yeah.
looking at something else now?
yeah, we're looking for a new one now. So we got the chat widget. We're looking for a new one, new opportunity here that you might see to capture a visitor to your.
Claim the button that says claim your free home valuation report.
Awesome. So we hit this button and it says claim your free home valuation report, so they can go ahead and claim it 24/7. So a pop-up form allows them at least to go ahead and leave the information with you. And obviously by telling them to claim it, what you're really trying to create is you want to know they showed up. So they leave their information with you like they were calling your phone, like they were calling your office and leaving a message with a receptionist. So now you could follow up with them. All right. So that is the beauty of this. Now check this out. Tell me if you see something different here than what you're used to seeing here, Michael. I'm gonna do Tony test. I'm gonna put in my phone number. And email. Agree to terms. This one here, I want you guys to hone in on because I got to tell you guys something about this a little bit later. Keep a note. They can add a guess if they want. I hit continue. And what we have here, Michael.
I'm immediately able to set up an appointment.
All right. Tell me, how do you feel like that could make a difference for a person that was coming, trying to get in contact with you or cashing on your offer when you weren't available?
Because they can
Versus
schedule something at their convenience.
they could schedule. And how is that for you? How would you do you feel like do you feel like that's better than a form but only or not? And if so, what makes it better for you?
It means I can make a choice right now. I don't have to wait
Exactly.
for you. I don't have to wait for you.
Exactly. So Calendar link. You guys have heard of, who's heard of Calendly? If you've heard of Calendly, please say yes in the chat. Okay, I see some hands, I see some heads nodding, right? The next one would be who has a Calendly or who has an automated booking tool. Wendy's got one. I see her out there, hand up. All right, a few people have it. So the idea here is that if you think about it, a person feeling like they completed the action makes a big difference in them feeling like they got served. So submitting a form by itself is okay, but if possible, let's go all the way to picking a time slot, confirming the appointment and closing that bad boy. The likelihood that they go to someone else after that feeling like they didn't reach you is much lower, right? So that's another one, calendar booking link. So we got a form, but we've also got the calendar booking that's going to significantly change your results. All right.
Tony, question for you. The process that you're taking us through, it seems as though it's building some commitment escalation. which makes it harder for people to not have to hold up their end of the bargain. Would you say that that's part of the psychology behind this as well?
Absolutely. There's actually a book called Go Givers Sell More. And I didn't know anything about digital marketing at this time when I was a field sales rep, right? So I didn't know anything about digital marketing at this time when we were doing this. But the whole idea here is that when you give someone something that is of value that they can actually use to do something for themselves. So it's what's in it for me, the person you want to sell to, not what's in it for you. Then reciprocity sets in and they tend to want to do more business with you. And I think maybe to piggyback on what Brandon said a little bit more, when they complete the action of booking that meeting with you to review their free home valuation report, then the fact that they completed that action makes them more committed to fulfilling the action and actually showing up on that meeting or continuing the conversation with you in the first place. So yeah, absolutely escalation of commitment. All right. Now, I would like to show you this one last thing because these elements that we put, and I'm purposely, guys, purposely keeping it simple because I did not mention this at the beginning, but I am of the mindset that now that business is more complicated with all this digital stuff, that overwhelm can set in really quickly, and that rather than trying to do everything, we need to figure out what are the few things we can do consistently in order to get the results we want. There's just too much time. There's not enough time in the day. There's too much to do and not enough time in the day. So my objective here is, look, there's 3 things that if you added it to your marketing today, you can improve your conversion rates. That means you could capture more of the leads that may actually be responding to your marketing. And what we covered so far is a chat widget, a form, a pop-up form that is connected to your automation, calendar booking links, right? So they can finish booking an appointment with you. And then obviously all of this hovers around a CRM system that can store the information when the people give it to you in the first place so you can follow up. The last part there is the CRM system that has automation so that it could actually send out an automated response after that person fills out your form and says, hey, your message, your meeting is confirmed. I look forward to meeting with you soon. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. That basically closes it out from the standpoint of lead capture. So if you want to do more things, you can, but if you at least do these 5 essential, have these 5 essential elements at play, you'll significantly increase your return on investment on the marketing that you are doing. Last thing I want to show you here is a little bit about the back-end setup so that you all can kind of put some words to some of the stuff that people talk about. So am I still sharing my screen? It's still showing, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Tony, Andrea has looks like she's raising her hand.
Oh,
I don't know
sorry
if you
about
can
that,
see that on your
Andrea.
end.
Yeah, I didn't see it. Andrea,
Indeed
go ahead.
she is. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
So my question is, some of us have vanity websites and some of us have, and we're all Compass here. So we all have a Compass personalized page, whatever. So can these items be attached to our existing, or because it sounds like what you're offering is probably a package?
Well, good question. Good question, Andrea. So in this particular case, I'm only offering information. But yeah, if you're talking about package, if you're saying, hey, like what are we looking at with the software and everything? Yes. The deal is that any of these softwares or any of these tools, you can actually, they complement your core website. They're not meant to replace it. Right. So what you're able to do is you're able to go ahead and if you, Andrea, did say, hey, Tony, I'd like to go ahead and set this up with you, then yeah, we could set that up here. And let's go ahead and hit a couple of technical terms that were a mystery to me early on, just so you guys have an understanding a little bit of what that looks like. So this stuff all happens in DNS records. I'm going to ask permission to talk about DNS records. Andrea, DNS, you shaking your head. Tell us about it. DNS records, what do you know about it?
I know that it's always or often challenging to deal with DNS, this, that, and the other thing, and GoDaddy. You have to argue with them, and you're calling the the help center in the Philippines, and then they're going to get back to you in 3 days, and like it's just never ending. By the
I can
time you
relate.
make it what you want, your frustration and blood pressure is through the roof.
It's elevated through the roof. I can relate to that. Thanks for sharing. So DNS records are related to hosting. So let me just go ahead and rattle off a few jargony terms and feel free to ask questions again. Free, safe environment. One, hosting. In order to have a web page up, you have to have a domain, right? So you have to go to a hosting company like a GoDaddy, a Namecheap, a Bluehost, whoever, and you buy your domain. After that, however, you have to have hosting. I remember I was so confused. Like, what do you mean I have a new thing to buy? So you have to host the domain, and you typically have a fee associated with that. Now, inside of that domain, when we talk about a domain, there's a root domain and there's a subdomain. So let's say I had Sasa. Sasa, is it Sasa Mujanovic? Did I pronounce
That's
it correctly?
it's pronounced Sasha.
Ah, Sasha, got it. Sasha.
Yeah.
So let's say I had Sasha.com, right? Sasha.com is the root domain. If I do www.sasha.com, www is the subdomain. So why does that matter? That means that you're able to create booking.sasha.com. You're able to create food.sasha.com. You're able to create realestate.sasha.com. You're able to create multiple places for people to land on when they go to this address, and you're able to use multiple platforms by using that, by changing that subdomain and just attaching it to your root domain. All right, so a little bit complicated terms, but hopefully as we kind of build up that knowledge base, it starts making a little bit of sense. Is that you've got a domain, and your subdomain is what you can use to then build complementary, let's call it rooms, onto the house. The root domain is the house, the core property, and the subdomains allow you to go ahead and build other properties on the same plot of land, but separate. I think there is a hand up. Wendy.
Yeah, thank you for taking my question. Why would someone want landing pages as opposed to a website? Or are the landing pages, I assume the landing pages are complementary to the website.
Excellent question, because I was so confused about this for a very long time. So my response is landing pages for traffic and for targeting, like talking directly to people, right? So the deal is your main website, imagine your main website as your storefront that stays the same more often, right? You don't need to change it a lot or anything like that. People can go there and get information. It's okay for that to serve more like your brochure, right? Your brochure, what's Wendy's business about? The landing pages are for offers, specific offers. Hey, I'm offering a valuation report. Maybe the next time I'm offering some type of market analysis. Maybe another time I'm offering free home inspections because I feel like people would want that and it's complementary to what I do, right? So your landing pages is where you could go ahead and create those focused offers so a person lands there and they only see one thing. And the reason that's important is because when there's no distractions from a menu bar up here and other places for them to go, they convert more often because they only have one thing to focus on, right? And here you can see the setup. This is using the landing page approach because now what I do is I create a flow. First thing I want them to do is evaluate the offer. Then I want them to book an appointment with me, and I just want to confirm their booking. That's it. So we got a landing page for each of those. And the deal is that now if I wanted to say, let's say, Wendy, what market are you in?
Bay Area, Silicon Valley, California.
All right, cool deal. So let's say, for example, in one case, you really wanted to make sure the people living in Walnut Creek, right?
Close enough.
You want them to see that, you want them to see some marketing from you and say, that's for me. So when you say residents of Walnut Creek, this offer is for you, then it just cuts through the noise more and stands out to them more. You can use a landing page and do that. And check this out. What's cool about landing pages is, so I got one campaign for Walnut Creek. Then if I want to do another campaign for, say, Sunnyvale, which is probably much further away from you. I don't know if you go that far, but if you did want to do one for Sunnyvale, then you just hit the clone button and then you change it and say, attention Sunnyvale residents. So can you see how that's a lot easier than calling a dev or hitting up some potty you found on Fiverr or Upwork and asking them to change your core website or add 1,000 pages to your core website? Now your core website is just getting massive. You at some point, you don't even know what's in there. But when you do this, now you have something targeted. So it's all really about targeting. And additionally, what you're able to do is, because you know that these people were from Sunnyvale, you go ahead and you set up some automated email responses and things. What is it going to say? It's going to talk to them about things related to Sunnyvale, not about everything else. So it feels more personalized. It's as if you were talking to them one-on-one. And that's how you could use the landing pages to improve your marketing versus
Quick
your
follow-up
main.
question. The landing pages they don't need to tie to your website. The
They
reason
don't.
why you'd want them tied to your website is because then you would be using the same CRM.
What you really want them, let me pull that back one more time, because that's a great point that you made. It's not about your website, it's really about your CRM more than the website, right? Because you want it all connected to the same CRM so that you know who you're having conversations with, and you've got this Rolodex of people that you're having conversations with, and you know where they are in the conversation relative to, hey, are we just starting a conversation, getting to know each other, or are we setting up an appointment? Have we already got the information I need to go ahead and create this person's listing? These are steps that you always go through. Those are the steps you get to set up, and this helps you stay organized and know where everybody is in your flow of work.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Wendy. Wayne Miller, San Diego.
Hey, Tony. Thank you for taking my question. In the case of Wendy, she's in the Bay Area. How would people find her in a sea of other agents who are offering the same stuff in the Bay Area?
Excellent question. So, funny thing, my dad was in town here with me for a month, and he sells insurance, and I was helping him with his CRM setup and some of his marketing, and I totally didn't realize that he did not realize that what he has to do with this stuff is actually give it to the people he knows. So the idea here is that there's this, sometimes I guess there's this idea that with digital, once you get it set up, that people are just supposed to discover you by osmosis and just find you in search and everything like that. I'd like to dispel that myth right now, because as solopreneurs, a lot of times the deal is that one, it takes a while to get to the first page of Google rankings. Two, a lot of people sell SEO. But again, it takes a minimum of 6 months to even see results from that, because all you're doing is writing articles, right? So there are two ways that you could speed that up. One, run ads. Ads are your fastest way. If you want to show up in search, run a Google ad. You'll show up in search, and you'll be able to show up there and search much more easily and quickly for less money than 6, 12, 18 months of SEO. Two, once you have these things in place, you actually want to share them. So don't forget about the magic and the success you've had talking to people one-to-one. The digital is just an amplifier to make it so that you can talk to people, cater to people, give people access to your information, and allow people to share your information more easily without you being involved. and keeping track of it, right? So the deal would be is that whatever you're already doing to talk to people, don't just do the thing of, hey, now since I'm talking to you in person, I'm just going to go ahead and put your number in my cell phone and then I'm going to start sending you messages. Well, guess what? Now you've lost track of that. You're not using your system. You want them in your CRM. So if I meet somebody at the bar and we're having a great conversation and it looks like, and it turns out they're a homeowner that we want a home valuation, whatever it may be, I say, hey, let me go ahead and sign you up for my valuation. And I don't have to say, here's the link. I can literally say, Wayne, what's your first name? What's your last name? Okay, great. What's the email? Best email? Great. Got you in the system. And let's book a time to meet. This is the time. Great. I will follow up with you and we will do this home valuation report. That's the way to maximize the value from your digital assets. Actually share them and share them first. Send everybody to your webpage, get everybody in your CRM, and keep the conversation going.
So I guess what I'm hearing, and Wendy, I'm sorry if I'm using you as an example, but it's a good one. So if Wendy's doing an open house, let's say, would that be one of the other ways to get her landing page out to the open house people?
100% at the open house. Well, now landing page, right? Let's say this. Let's just change it from get her offer out to the open house people, right? Because now the offer just happens to live on a landing page. And actually check out what I did here in this, loose demo. The deal is that even when they actually redeem the offer, then I say, hey, well, if you have friends or family who want to know what their homes are worth, feel free to send them the link to our free home valuation report so they can get one too. Look, write your marketing and write your pages and or whoever you have even build the pages for you, give them the copy in your voice, right? So even as you read that, you might say, hey, I wouldn't say it that way. Then say it your way. But the idea here is that, to your point, Wayne, is on any of these pages, you're making them do what you want to do, and you want to think about it like you're talking to the person one-on-one, not like it's this ominous marketing thing that happens out there around me. No, this is actually you, and these things are an extension of you. So make it feel and sound like you. It'll help you cut through the noise. And when you're at the open house or anywhere, again, hey, I'm offering a free home analysis. Not necessarily the normal one would be you've got a bunch of cards on an island, if there's an island in the house, right? You got a bunch of cards there and you've got your other setup and you're kind of like handing out your card and saying, hey, yeah, if you're interested in this place or any other place, you can reach me. Well, now you can add to that. And hey, here's an offer that I have for you guys. If you click here or go here, you can get your free home evaluation if you've got a home that you might want to sell so that you can buy this home that I'm doing an open house for, as an example, right? So, it's part of your arsenal, and you can and if you focus on offers versus web pages, then you'll also get a lot more traction.
Yeah,
And best
great.
of all,
Thank you.
once you
Yep.
know once you know which offers work best for you, Wayne, then you could actually stop the other ones and just keep on doing the offer that works, and focus really on bringing in, more deals instead of getting more creative. All right. I saw a question in the chat. I agree with Andrea. Wants to see the calendar. They see the calendar, they leave. Okay, Yolanda, it's okay if they see the calendar and leave. What are they telling you? If they see the calendar and they leave, what are they telling you? You there, Yolanda?
Yes, that they don't want to do business with you.
Ah, and that's worth gold. Because why do you want to spend time with them if they don't want to spend time with you?
Yeah, it's kind of filtered down.
Right? So it's you want to attract people that want what you're offering. And if they show up there and they see something that says, hey, well, you got to do this to go to the next step with me, and they don't want to do it, they're not your customer at the time. They might be your customer again sometime in the future. On a later session, as we go through this, because we touched some different pieces, there's a piece called retargeting that we could touch on that has to do with ads and things of that nature that allows you to actually put your offer back in front of people that came to your webpage but didn't drop off their information, right? But I want to impress upon you guys that, you know what?
But
want to do business with the
Tony,
people.
Tony,
ahead.
just actually, with everybody have access to Zillow right now, and I have seen that people check Zillow for valuation, and they really trust Zillow for that. And even when they make an offer, they check Zillow to see what is the valuation. They don't go to somewhere else to trying to find the value of their property.
Mhm.
I don't know what is the difference between Zillow and these sites. What is like a kind of attract more people instead of they go to Zillow?
Well, the deal would be, Yolanda, let me just use myself as an example, right? Is that when I go to Zillow and I look up property, I assume that's kind of an estimate of what my property is worth, and it's not necessarily personalized and accurate. It wasn't done just for me, right? So there may be some lack of accuracy there. The additional thing is that when I go to Zillow and check the value of my property, nobody helps me after that. I check the value of my property and now I say I want to sell it. Then what do I do next? So there's nobody to guide me through to that next step, right? So the deal is that in that regard, Zillow doesn't have to be your competition, right? But also that means that people may benefit from you educating them on the fact that, hey, whatever number you saw on Zillow may be true, but it's an estimate. So maybe you have access to more accurate information to give a better estimate, or maybe they decide that they want to do a full out appraisal, right? And you can facilitate that. And one thing that I do know is since you have access to navigate, then you may actually have more specific data about the valuation of their home and you can deliver it to them. But one thing is for sure, the difference between them getting that valuation from Zillow and getting it from you is actual one-on-one attention.
Tony, I would say this too. What Zillow does in their estimate only validates that that actually matters and people care about that. I think to your point, and when Yolanda, is actually very interesting to hear you say that people go to Zillow and trust it. I've actually heard the exact opposite. People that I talk to all the time go, no one trusts Zillow because it's overinflated. So that's just an interesting insight. Don't assume that everybody's saying that as gospel, because I could sit here and tell you 10 people who say no one goes there. The third thing is what Tony just mentioned, the fact that Zillow is done in aggregate, it's not done at the local level. That is your opportunity to actually come in and almost add that personalized touch and feel because you know the terrain, right? If you're in that market, you know the drivers of value in that market. And so it's actually almost the fact that Zillow is out there can be your biggest source of strength if you just flip how you think about it, and use it as part of your kind of, I don't say weaponize it, but use it to your advantage.
100%. And last thing, just piggybacking off that, Tad, is this, guys. I mentioned the overwhelm, and I don't know if you feel it. Maybe you feel it, maybe you don't. But right now, we're in a time where there's more information from all different angles, sometimes saying different things that just make life a little bit more confusing than it used to be. So there's a lot of content out there, but there's not a lot of context. And that's where you all come in. You can provide the context around that, right? So the idea that even by publishing some content, it could easily feel like, well, everybody's already publishing about this. So why should they come to me? I like to use this example. Whether you're religious or not, we know that there's a lot of churches and across the US, and there's not a lot of different Bibles. There are people with their parishes, and some people have bigger parishes than others. And what's the difference? How they deliver the message. Sometimes it may be the choir. Sometimes it may be the food that's served after the service. The deal here is that you have an opportunity to create a unique experience for the people who want to follow you or for the people that you serve. So just don't be dissuaded by the fact that there's all this stuff out there. Don't feel like you're behind if you're just getting started today. Focus on connecting with the people that want to connect with you and building your flock. And trust in the fact that, when everybody's doing the same thing, the thing that makes it different is the experience you create for the people that do business with you. So what we have to do in today's environment is we have to get more of this stuff from out of our head and out there to the internet. And frankly, guys, I'm here with you all. Like I started this and I have to do a lot of that. And a lot of my aha is like, man, it's a lot to get all this stuff out of my head in some way that people can interact with it. But that's pretty much the business today. And it can make it so that when you do it one time, you can use it multiple times. So over time, it does pay dividends. It pays compounding interest. It's the new way to work. It is what it is. And each individual is its own, each of you are your own business and your own source of information to say, hey, if I talk to Wendy, she's going to give me the information in one way. Yolanda's going to give it to me in a different way. Sasha will give it to me in a different way. And one of those ways is going to resonate with me more. And that's where I'm going to go do business. And that's okay. I think we're probably, I don't know where we are on time right now because I was just so
Tony,
into the combos, but let me hit two things that I see in the chat. Analytics, Kat, I put this page up on purpose, hopefully so that you could see it and it would help with the question about analytics. Yes, the analytics will be here to show how many people viewed the page and how many people opted in. And that's pretty much as far as you guys would want to go, obviously, right? Because you all don't do an e-commerce type of sale or they're not buying a physical thing from you. So this would be the main area that you're looking at to understand how things are going. And Tiffany Alexander asked, can we tie landing pages to our Compass agent page so it goes right to our CRM? If your Compass agent page, yes, okay, I got it. Yes, so let me tell you how that works. All this is you're taking a link to your landing page and adding it to whatever button is on your Compass website, if they allow you to do that. And that's how it'll be going into your, the CRM connection on the back end. That's the part I don't necessarily know about. That has to do with API stuff. But if the Compass CRM has an API connector, then you would be able to connect it through the API. That may actually open up a can of worms for some additional questions, but that means that we could just talk again, or we could talk offline about integrations and anything like that, so you can kind of understand how that works and see if you can make it, how you can make it work for you.
Tony, how can everybody reach you?
You can reach me by going to revenuefactory.com and just requesting to talk.
Sounds easy enough. Listen, a lot of just nuggets here that I hope people are paying attention to, listening. I love the activity. I love the interest. It makes you feel as if there should be a session 2, 3, 4, 5. Who knows, right? There's a lot of, I think people are mystified by how to understand it. And I thank you for kind of breaking it down. I know this is kind of just phase 1 of this, but certainly a lot of rich material here. So I want to thank you for joining today. These calls are recorded, so hopefully everybody on the call gets them. And Tony, I know your presentation, you would like to clean it up and maybe get it in a different format. Please, if you could, that'd be great. I want to send it to the group so they have it. But guys, Tony is gold. He's been helping me, and hopefully you see after this call today, like just how that knowledge, just distilling in just digestible formats, makes this a little bit easier to get you on your way. So I want to thank everybody for joining today. We will see you next week. Happy prospecting. Cheers.